I'm a dad. I have a full-time job. I was like, the idea of an extraction shooter where you lose all your loot sounded terrible to me. It's something that I did not want to do. Hi guys, I hope you're having a good day, and I want to thank you for watching the channel. If you like it, please go ahead and subscribe. We're trying to reach 300 people. That's our goal. And if you can like and subscribe, that'd be great. Today I want to talk to you about my first expedition and is it worth it or not. I joined Arc Raiders later than most players did. To be honest with you, I didn't. I'm a dad. I have a full-time job. The idea of an extraction shooter where you lose all your loot sounded terrible to me. It's something that I did not want to do. But I went ahead and did the first expedition that came up for me. Anyway, let's go over the expedition, what you're going to lose and what you're going to get. Let's start there. So what you lose is you lose nearly all character progress. You're going to lose your levels. Because you lose your levels, you lose your talents. You're going to lose your workshop progressions. Even the workshops are hard to level up, but once you get low up, you're like, wow, that's great. I don't have to do that again. Well, you lose that. You lose your blueprints, your dear and valuable blueprints that you searched all over the world for. You're going to lose those. Quest progress. You keep the cosmetic rewards from the quests you have, but other than that, your quest progress is basically reset. So let's talk about some of the bonuses you get. If you do the expedition, you get 12 stash spaces per expedition. So if it's your first expedition, you get 12. Your second, you get 24. Your third, you get 36. And so on like that. Each expedition, you have the opportunity to get up to 5 skill points if you meet the objectives. For me, this round was damage was the objective, so I had to do 100,000 worth of damage. I thought that was going to be a lot. I took off some time from work, and actually I was able to do it in like 2 days. So it wasn't that bad at all. A lot of fighting the matriarch, though. Your skill points will be granted if you beat the requirement, and you'll start off with 5 skill points, they say. But if you skip the tutorial, you really start off with 6 because you're at level 1. So that gives you a big jump on the talent tree and really makes you feel like you're leveling faster. So that's good. And then consecutive buffs, right? This is if you do the expansion over and over and over again. Your first expansion is 5% XP boost and 6% boost to scrappy materials. Your second expedition will be 10% XP boost, 12% for scrappy, and your third expedition will be 15% XP boost and 18% to scrappy. So if you keep doing expeditions over and over and over again, this really starts to add up. I mean, imagine being on your third expedition and having 15% XP boost, 18% bonus to scrappy, 36 stash spaces, and you got 15 extra talent points. That's huge. That really makes a big difference in your character. My idea behind the expedition is it's worth it if you're going to continue to do expeditions. The first expedition is not necessarily worth it, but if you're going to stick around with the game, you got to do expeditions, and you got to basically keep up with everybody, right? You don't want to be running around with your regular 75 talent points when everybody else has got 15, 20 extra talent points, right? That make a big, huge difference. If you want to be the best, you got to do the expeditions. Let's put it that way. If you want to min-max. What I will say is that I did do the expedition, and I really enjoy it. I really enjoy the fresh character restart. It's made the game fresh. My experience is that my first gun that they gave me was a Rattler, which is the worst gun according to most of the community, besides the Harpin. The Rattler actually worked out pretty good for me. I kept on finding Rattlers for a long time. I had like 6 or 7 Rattlers before I found another gun, and I didn't have my gear bench upgraded yet for my gun, so I just kept using Rattlers. And I have to tell you that the gun is not as bad as people make it sound. It can work, especially on wasps, hornets, things like that. What you want to do is you want to play to the strength, though, right? If you have a Rattler, you don't want to sit there and just start taking out a wasp in the middle of the field. If a wasp or hornet get on you, you want to run to cover. Use that cover so that they can't attack you. And then when you're fully reloaded, which takes a little bit with the Rattler, you just unload, and it does pretty good. By the time I got an extended stock in mine that I found just looting, one clip could take out a wasp. It would take about 2 to 3 clips to take out a hornet, depending on if you fired at the right weak spots or not. I really enjoyed that. It made the game feel a lot more live to me. It made me feel like I just couldn't walk out and just take out anything. So what I did was I just kept with the Rattler until eventually I found a Prego. Once I had my stash space rolling, I started buying anvils 3 a day if I could afford it. Now, I recommend getting your stash up to at least 200 spaces before you spend money on guns. But at 200 spaces, low level, that's plenty of inventory. You can start buying guns to beef up your experience and loadout. I started buying anvils, and then later on, after I upgraded my stash completely, I started buying a renegade and a hall cracker every day, and now those are stacking up, and I've worked my way to where I'm basically using a renegade every run, a hall cracker when I really need to do something, take down something big. As the expedition goes, the 5 XP boost, I can't say I really feel it, but the 12 extra stash spaces are coming in handy. The scrappy bonus seems to be a pretty nice perk. But I lost all my blueprints. Right now I'm at level 30. I got all my workstations upgraded except for medical. Those surveyor vaults are ridiculous to find. Yeah, I just need one more surveyor vault and I'll have my medical station fully upgraded. After that, I'm just going to keep leveling up, and then I can go blueprint searching like a lot of people do all the time. But right now I'm focusing on other things for my stash. Starting over made loot valuable again. I was taking in a lot of, chemicals, paper, metal, plastic, just raw materials, right? Because I like to build a good foundation for my stash up. So those were like the most important things to me. So every round I would have some of those. What I can say about the expedition is the way I focused on it was the first thing I put in was a medical station. The reason why I put in a medical station is because of 2 things. I wanted to be able to make bandages, and I wanted to make adrenaline shots. And both of them are really cheap. So with that, I was able to go out and actually heal myself anytime I wanted or needed. Sometimes I could take 2 stacks of bandages if it was a long run I was planning on doing. Having adrenaline shots just really makes it to where you can get to the loot you need on time, or you can get across the map for quest objectives and so forth. I really like that part of the gameplay. I went ahead and did the medical station first, and then after that I did the gear bench. So the reason why I did the gear bench is because I think the fastest you can get to the looting MK2 augment, the better. Because that augment pretty much changes the game. You're going to be carrying home a lot of loot. You got the 3 augment slots, which are just great for those big cash items that you need to sell to get your stash up, to buy things. That's the order that I put things in, and then after that, just as I had it, I put it in. But I do recommend going after the medical station and the gear bench first, because your augment, your ability to make bandages and adrenaline will really change the way you can play the game. You never want to lose a whole loadout and all the loot you just looted because you're 1 bandage short or 2 bandages short, and you never want to be in a situation where you spawn and by the time you get anywhere, all the loot's gone. So that's where adrenaline shots come in. What I will say that I don't like about the expedition restarting is that I don't like that your quests reset, because all I really want is the hall cracker blueprint, and the fact that I have to go through so many quests to get that blueprint again is really ridiculous. Yes, you get rewards when you do the quest, but a lot of the rewards are cosmetics that you already unlocked, so you're basically not really unlocking anything when you complete a quest on a lot of them. So I think if they're going to reset the quest progression on expeditions, you should get new cosmetic rewards for each of the quests. I definitely recommend that to Embark Studios. So what I can say overall is that the expedition has really made me fall in love with the game again. It's made me excited. It makes loot valuable. It makes running. I like the fact that I'm not almost invincible and can take out anything, And I think overall the game is fun with the expedition, and I would recommend it. I was really nervous about doing it, but now that I've done it, the 12 extra stash spaces really come in handy. The 5 extra skill points really come in handy. I can't imagine what it's like when you have 10-15% XP boost and you have 15 talent points and 36 stash spaces. That's where I'm ultimately trying to get to go. I will be doing every expedition going forward. I just wanted to let you know that. It's not as bad as it sounds. I know it hurts to lose all your blueprints, but Embark Studios has come out and said they're going to let you keep 5 items for the next expedition. So that means that you would be able to keep like your 5 best blueprints. So I would keep the hall cracker blueprint for sure, so I didn't have to do all the quests. Then you would pick your top 5 blueprints, right? Where I'm at right now, which is like level 30, and I got most of my workstations upgraded already, except for the medical. Just need the surveyor vault. I have all the items to make hall crackers, but I need the blueprint, right? So it's really frustrating. So what I would do is, starting over, is I would probably keep the anvil blueprint, the seeker grenade blueprint that really helps you out with all the snitchers and things like that you have to do, and the hall cracker blueprint. And then after that, I just picked 2 blueprints I really like that I thought were rare to get. That's my take on the expedition, and is it worth it? I would say yes. I would say not doing yourself a good service if you are skipping the expeditions, because while you may have all the guns you want, you may have all the blueprints you want, everything, the game will get stale at the end game, and resetting really helps that. It makes your character stronger in the long run. Can you imagine doing your 4th expedition and having 20 extra talent points? I mean, that's huge. That right there is almost like a character and a half. So, that makes a big difference. So I'm really pro expedition right now. I am enjoying myself. Will I enjoy the 3rd reset? I don't know. Will I enjoy the 2nd reset? I don't know. But I will plan to update you guys on that. As after doing my 1st expedition, I'm really happy. If you like this channel and you like this video, please go ahead and like and subscribe. This is Try Win Out. Bye.